Hello, I'm Stuart Bloor, and if you saw the title of the video, it wasn't a joke, it's not an April Fool, it is a serious video. I'm actually going fishing for sticklebacks. I haven't seen one for years, and when I was younger I used to fish for them on a pond, Pen Common Duck Pond as we called it, may still be known as that now, and I actually fished for them properly with line and a hook and a very small float. But over the years, I'm sure most of us as anglers have realised that they have become quite scarce. Certainly we don't see them like we used to. And when I was on a venue recently, after big bream, of course being very nocturnal, I had lots of time during the day to look around, and being keen on nature, I'm always scouting the margins anyway. And what did I see? Some sticklebacks. So I decided to return there and target them. Now, of course, as with any type of fishing, the preparation starts at home, and one of the biggest challenges to target these sticklebacks, bearing in mind I'm not going out with a little net and a jam jar, I'm actually going to fish for them properly. One of the biggest challenges was to make a float. Now, my wife, we actually run a charity that works predominantly in Africa. My wife is brilliant at making cards, crafts in general, but she makes cards, handmade cards, and she recently did some angling related ones that we sell to raise funds. And here's one of the cards that caught my eye, and in particular, can you see that there at the bottom? Those are little floats that she made. So with that in mind, I said to her, could you make me a couple so that I can go after these sticklebacks? So let's see my wife in action. So Deb, you're at your little craft table now and you're making the first float. What gave you the idea to come up with these?
Well, I've made the card, and it needed something else, and I've seen your fishing floats and I like floats because they're pretty and things. So I went on the internet and looked up some floats and just copied one as well as I could. They're
very much like traditional floats that I used to fish with when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've seen some that
back in the 60s and 70s. So I think a lot of anglers might put an order in for these.
A bit small.
You never know, do you?
No. For tiddlers.
Let's take a close-up anyway of you making these floats.
There's two little floats that I've just finished for Stuart. They just need a final coat of clear varnish now just to make them a bit more watertight, but they're all finished.
I'm here now and it's quite a windy day. The gusts in particular are causing quite a ripple on the surface. But while it's not too bad, I'm going to try and photograph some of the sticklebacks in the margins because it's a very clear pit, as pits indeed usually are, and you can see them. And I'm already set up, I'm fishing with a whip. I'll show you my my gear afterwards, and then we'll have a go at catching one. Well, I'm sure you saw some of the fish in those clips previously. They wouldn't keep still, they're quite active, but I managed to get some of them. As you see, they've got red breasts, what we used to call red butchers. I don't know if kids call them those these days. Perhaps times are different. When I grew up, we didn't have the internet and computer games and all the channels that you've got now on TV. So living in the area as well where I lived, most of my time was spent out over the fields, bird watching, bird nesting, finding flowers and all that sort of thing. And of course I've carried on with that now, not the bird nest of course, times change, but all my love for nature has continued. Anyway, I'm going to show you my little setup here. I've got, and this is a 4 metre whip. You can see the end section there. I'm not extending to 4 metres because the fish are quite close in. I didn't buy any gear especially. Got the floats made up as you've seen earlier. But I've got some 1.5 pound fluorocarbon, so I've tied that from the end of the whip. And then there's the aforementioned float. It's vibrating a little bit in the wind there. You can see it, very colourful with the float stops on now. And then at the moment I've got about 18 inches, and I can of course move that with the float of course on the rubbers. And I've got a size 20 hook. It took me enough time to tie that. I can see the sun 93 million miles away, but I struggled to see a size 20 hook in front of my own nose. Anyway, I've got a size 20 hook on there. I wanted squats, and I didn't have any in the tackle shop, so I ended up with pinkies. Right, let's let the rubber hit the road, so to speak, and let's see if I can get a fish for the camera. And here you go, a stickleback. Caught fair and square as well. Look at that. Isn't it brilliant? I'm so happy. Absolutely fantastic. As I have to say, let's get this one back and see if I can catch some more. I'm casting out again, well, dropping the bait in the margins. And I've decided on this occasion not to cock the float. So I'm letting it sink, you know, the pinky. And I've watched it go right the way down. The stickleback took a little bit of an interest in it, but he's let it go. So it's now on the bottom in the weed. So I'm going to lift it back up. Oh, I've got a snag. I think I might have to wade in and get this. Well, it is about a foot deep. Well, I just went in, as you can probably see there. My hands are covered in water right the way up to my elbow. And while I was in there retrieving the hook that was stuck on the bottom, the sticklebacks were all around me. I think there's one thing we can say about these fish: they're not pressured. And when folks say that they've caught a fish and it's probably never been caught before, I can say with all certainty that they haven't been caught before. But it's great fun. I'm really enjoying it. Well, I'm going to fish a little bit shallower. I'm just going to pull the float down a little bit and see if I can get me another stickleback. The second one of the day, but not a blanker. As you saw my float there, I haven't got a shot on. I was thinking about putting one on, but for now I'm just letting the pinky sink naturally, and I can watch it because it's very clear water, as I said. The fish seem to be more interested in the float than they do in the bait, because of course it's brightly coloured. They probably think it's another stickleback. If you watch the males at this time of the year, they're quite territorial and they chase the others off when they go into their little patch. They have a fascinating life story, and I'll write a little bit about those in the article that accompanies this video. I just moved swims, so to speak, and just got one. I saw it as well. Look how beautiful breast there, how red it is. I hope it's coming up on the camera. It's quite sunny now. Yeah, I think you can see that. Beautiful, isn't it? I just had a hook pull on one. There are 2 or 3 in this area. It's creating a little bit of competition. So who knows? Might get me third fish of the session. Oh, watch, it's brilliant in this clear water. I've just seen another fish come in, interested, and I've put the bait over it, and the float's actually going. So I think I could have a disappearing float. If this was a proper angling video, you'd have someone filming the float and all that sort of stuff, but of course it's one man in his camera. Oh, just pulled out of it. One man and his camera. So you don't get the full works, but hopefully you can catch the excitement I feel about fishing like this. Because let's face it, ultimately, fishing is about enjoyment, isn't it? You could be a carp angler catching 30s and 40s and not really be at peace with yourself and not really be happy. So for me, I enjoy catching big fish. Oh, yes! Oh, it's come off. The float went right the way down. That was amazing. But it's all about enjoyment, and as you can see, I'm really enjoying myself. Oh, there's another one back out. Yes! The float went down, and I've got one. There it is, as you can see, caught with a hook. Brilliant. The video comes to an end now, and as you've no doubt gathered, I've had a great time. I've really enjoyed myself fishing for those sticklebacks. I'm an all-rounder, and when I say that, I really mean it. So it's not just about big fish, but actually targeting those has been very, very enjoyable. And I would say if you're an angler, particularly if you're going through a bad time with your fishing, maybe it's a bit of a struggle, you find it difficult to get some fish on the bank, certainly if you're a carp angler or another big specimen species angler, then no doubt you go through those times. We all do, and sometimes we can lose the fun and we can lose the edge a little bit, and it gets almost like a bind going out fishing, and we lose the fun aspect. Why not go back into your childhood? If you're my age, then no doubt you've got some great memories in the past. Why not go back into your childhood and do something that you did then? It might be fishing the local canal for gudgeon. It might be a stream after minnows, something like that. But why not do it? I'll guarantee that it'll certainly give you a new lease of life. Not that I needed one, of course, because I'm always topped up with enthusiasm as far as my fishing's concerned. But I'll tell you one thing, I've really enjoyed it, and this won't be the last time that I will actually be pursuing sticklebacks. And even in the article that will accompany this video, that you can read on my website, by the way, I'm going to do another session after the species and see if I can add a few more to my tally. Join me on Facebook. I've got a page. It's one of those that you like. Why not like it and follow my angling adventures there? And if you're on Twitter, why not follow me? And of course, with the video itself, why not subscribe on YouTube? But above all, enjoy your fishing. And hopefully, I wasn't able to show the float going under and all that sort of stuff today, because as I said earlier, it's me and my camera. But hopefully I've communicated some of what angling is really all about. It's about enjoyment, it's about excitement, it's about passion, regardless of the size of the fish that we're after.